Hi, I'm Mim, and I'm super excited about getting a very special piece of mail.
Mim, I have your mail for you.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Hashtag blast.
Hashtag blessed. Here you go. Oh, what
Yay!
bounty!
All right, so I'll answer a few of these now, and any that I don't get to now, I will ask, I'll respond to rather when I see you all in person. And write as many questions as you want, and don't hold back. I answer lots of these. All right, so first, great question. What is the white stuff called that is left, like residue, even when you weren't coming intentionally? Isn't normal too? Yeah, so there's like all of these liquids that come out of our junk, regardless of what kind of junk that is. In someone with a penis, the liquid that's in semen is from 3 glands: the Cowper's gland, the seminal vesicle, and the prostate gland. And the Cowper's gland is just sort of like squirting out liquid anytime that the body thinks like, we might be having an erection. So it's just sort of like a general squirting, cleaning thing to clean out the urethra, which is the tubing in the penis. And pee is really acidic and kills sperm, so that's why it does that. So basically it's like a lubricating opportunity for like anytime there might be an erection. And in folks with vulvas, and vulva is the word for that whole external genitalia of someone who's assigned female at birth, there's actually like lots of areas that goopy discharge can come from. So at the front of the vagina, if you imagine that that here we have the labia majora on the outside and the minora on the inside, right here at like 5 o'clock and 7 o'clock are the Bartholin's glands. And those release liquid when someone is like aroused or excited, but also sometimes like if someone's nervous, it can be triggered by a lot of other hormones in the body. And then further inside of the vagina, it's just like a really wet mucous membrane is what that tissue is called, and that's like this, like on the inside of your mouth, that like slippery, soft, super absorbent tissue. It's also in your nose and your eyes and your ears, rectum, vagina, and then in someone's penis as well too. So that's like often just wet in general. And then the cervix, which is what's at the back of the vagina. So the vagina again is just that tube that connects the vulva up to the uterus, which the uterus is about this big. So the base of the uterus is called the cervix. It has a little teeny hole in it called the os. And that releases liquids of sort of all different consistency based on where a person is in their menstrual cycle. So sometimes it's thicker, sometimes it's thinner, sometimes it's slippery, sometimes it's sticky. So yeah, given like all of that happening all the time, it's super likely that that like someone might have discharge or wetness in their pants or underwear. The other thing is that for a lot of sexually transmitted infections and diseases, as well as some other types of diseases that sometimes just occur from someone's like body just like going through some hormone shifts, or maybe like not being as clean as it could be, a lot of times then the body will be secreting or like letting out some different smelling or looking liquids there. So, and we'll go into all of that much more when I visit you all. Is there an appropriate age to start masturbating? Another really good question. Yeah, whenever someone starts masturbating, that's an appropriate age to be masturbating. A lot of kids start masturbating when they're really little. I was like actively and effectively masturbating like by kindergarten. I was definitely one of those kids who in preschool like got those notes home that was like, Mim has been humping her teddy bear in like a little mat surrounded by other children. So that's like an example of sort of a tricky issue, right? Because if you're masturbating, it is sort of like an issue of consent, right? You should be alone, and if there's going to be someone else around, you actually do want to get their consent or permission, right? For little children, this is like a pretty complicated concept, but I think as you get older, like make sure you're alone. If you're not alone, check in with the person and be like, I will be touching my genitals. I'm hoping to have an orgasm. I might ejaculate. You know, like really lay out what might be happening. Be specific. And the other thing is be sure that you have clean hands when you do it. So like a little hand wash before, a little hand wash after. And then in terms of that like awesome junk that you're touching, if you're going to be using something else to lubricate it other than any lubrication that's naturally occurring on your body, and again, some folks have a lot of that and some folks don't, just be sure that what you're putting on you is safe for your body. So like olive oil would be safe, coconut oil would be safe, something marketed as lubricant would be safe, but like you wouldn't want to be using like soap or like a lotion that you might have a strong allergic reaction to, or like hair gel, something like that. You want to make sure that like what you're putting on your body isn't going to like cause an infection or disrupt like the ecosystem of your genitals. I'll do a few more. We have so many questions that are like, what is sex? What happens? How long does it last? Questions about queer sex. And the cool thing about sex is there's like a zillion ways to do it. And there's like, yeah, people are so inventive. Like the things people put insides of themselves or like use as part of their like creative and thrilling sex lives is just phenomenal. So again, the first like most important thing would be like figuring out the consent and then figuring out like what will make you happy, what will make you and your partner or your partners happy. Typically folks like to do a combination of stimulation, maybe using hands, mouths, genitals, to like get off or not get off. So to like maybe bring one person or both people to an orgasm. So again, that's like up to you all. And we'll talk in depth about things like birth control, condoms, clinics, etc. When I see you all on Friday. Can't wait.